All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWE Backlash 2025. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's go and get into it. Might as well just once again call this In Your House Backlash because we only got a set of 5 matches, a whole big roster, but we're not getting the talent put on these events. I'm surprised people are honestly actually selling out these events knowing that they're just coming there for literally 2 hours. And I mean, we're not getting a full card. And I
Well,
know
we,
this
we
this
just
this
had
was
like we just had like how many hours of wrestling last month for WrestleMania?
it don't matter. That's their choice. They want to go two
I but
nights,
I would
1 hours.
rather I would rather one night of honest. I would rather one night of WrestleMania and then have Backlash be stacked. Remember back in the days, like remember how there was it 2000 that Backlash was way better than WrestleMania? Was it 2000? Or am
Yeah,
I
it was
getting
it, it
close?
was pretty much like a WrestleMania revenge,
Yeah,
and because we had 8, 9 matches on the card.
and it was a good card.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is what I wish they would go back to doing now,
yeah.
but we're not going to get that. So let's start off the night. You had Michael Cole and Wade Barrett doing the commentating in St. Louis because Pat McAfee's got other things on his mind later on. Opening match of the night was for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu defending the title in a fatal four-way match against Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest.
Yeah, I already knew who was gonna win.
But we did not expect who was going to show up.
Well,
I honestly thought that was going to be next week on SmackDown. This was probably one of the best matches on the card. Especially when I love when they all do their finishers on each other and one right after the other. And LA Knight at one point almost looked like he was going to pull it out to win to regain his title. However, Jeff Cobb from New Japan shows up, takes out Priest and McIntyre. And remember, Jacob Fatu said I didn't want any help from the bloodline. So and Solo wound up showing up too. It came down to LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, and the moonsault from Fatu is what sealed the deal. He kept the United States Championship. He stared down Solo and Jeff Cobb. Pretty much, you can look at the what he was thinking, and like, bro, I didn't ask for your help. And this is probably
no.
going to be another bloodline member, even though
Oh yeah, right,
he's not related to them.
right. He's not.
Unfortunately, he's 42 years old and he's getting his shot in WWE. That's
Wait, better than
starting a
never.
little late, but yeah, exactly. But this was a really good match, and I mean the fans just kept cheering. They went nuts for this match. They love Jacob Fatu, so it's just a matter of time before he goes out on his own
Oh yeah, yeah.
for the Bloodline. So following that, they showed what led up to our next match, which was for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyra versus Becky Lynch. Just got to stay in the limelight, don't we, Becky?
Well,
But this is the first time the Women's Intercontinental Championship is being defended on a premium live event or pay-per-view for us. So let's go to it. They actually, at one point, showed her fiance at ringside for Lyra as Becky was talking shit to him. This was a good match. Little do some people know that Lyra is 1-0 against Becky. Last year, Lyra took the NXT title off of Becky on an NXT show. So Becky is not only bitter about last WrestleMania, but I'm sure she's still bitter about the loss to Lyra last year as well. Now, with her exposing the turnbuckle, that's just typical heel Becky. Um, I didn't understand why Jessica Carr had to go and try to become maintenance and try to fix it. Lyra, she almost blew the match for Lyra when she had the
hmm
pin, but fortunately enough, Lyra was able to get back in. It looked like not she didn't break her nose, but it looked like maybe Becky hit her and maybe deviated her septum or something because when she hit her towards the end of the match, she was holding the top of her nose in a lot of pain. Becky had rolled up Lyra, but Lyra reversed it, got the victory over Becky, and defended the Women's Intercontinental Championship against her. Thank God Becky didn't walk away with this championship. So next they showed what was in store for our next match, which is actually for the Intercontinental
hmm
Championship. Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Dominic.
To, to me, and this cocky little bastard, I mean, He
Stunning.
wins it at WrestleMania, and he's like, "I've only been Intercontinental Champion 20 minutes, and I'm already the best of all time."
He's starting to get over too. He's starting to. I can see him turning babyface.
Unfortunately, it's Finn that's the next one to jump out of to be kicked out of Judgment Day. I mean, Judgment Day is just becoming a bunch of misspent rejects that they're
Yeah,
finding
that just
around everywhere.
was.
I mean,
They're,
you
they're
got
not what they used
Carlito,
to be.
Dominic,
Yeah, they're
JD
not.
McDonough. I mean, without
They're
Finn Balor, they're nothing.
yeah, they're at the end of it. They're not. They peaked. They peaked already.
They might as well just come up with a new name for the group.
Yeah. Damian. Once they lost Damian for me, that was it.
Yeah, and Rhea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, those are the two best people in the team, the
Yep,
squad.
the Terror Twins.
Yeah.
Now, on paper, I thought honestly Penta was walking away with this title, but then I thought, wait a minute, they're not just going to give Dominic a 2 week title reign. So, and I had a feeling that Finn Balor was going to get involved, which the Judgment Day did get involved during this match. It was a really good match to see the high flying antics of Penta. Um, Again, fans were really into this match. It wasn't a boring match. It was pretty
That was
good.
good.
Um, when Finn grabbed the chair to try to hit Penta, that's when the referee saw it and barred Judgment Day from ringside. However, Finn came back, distracting the referee while Chad Gable.
That's not Chad Gable.
That wasn't America. I don't get no, don't
It's
start with
not
that
Chad
America.
Gable. We've
Yes, it
never seen.
is.
But then
Yes,
then they have an interview where they were in the same room. They were.
yeah, just like they had an interview with Mick Foley, Do Love, Cactus Jack, and all. Yeah, they were all there.
Well, either way, that's not his name.
Yeah, okay. El Americano
Well,
headbutts Penta with that plate in his head. Dominic with the frog splash gets the victory and defends the Intercontinental Championship.
that's it.
That was Chad Gable on my end. Next, they showed what led to the Pat McAfee Gunther match, and I was
Yeah.
actually disappointed at the end of this match because I thought somebody was going to show up. I guess they're waiting just a
No,
little
I
bit
wasn't. I
longer.
wasn't disappointed. I don't want to see him ever again.
You're going to see him come for August, trust me.
That's when they're going to the Middle East. Is that when they're going over there? Or?
No, they go at the end of June for Night of
Okay, so
Champions.
that's usually when Goldberg shows up to stink up the joint. But anyway,
Well,
um,
the one thing for Night of Champions, that can't be a five person card because if it's Night of Champions, every title has to be defended. It's Night of Champions,
well,
so we better be in store for a hell of a night that night.
you know
But
what?
no, Goldberg was rumored to have the match
Right.
with Gunther at SummerSlam.
I don't want to see that. We'll talk about
Nobody
that
does.
another time. Um, the Gunther thing is starting to annoy me because how do you go from world champion to feuding with a commentator? And this kind of reminds me of what happened with Bret Hart when he went from being the champion to feuding with Jerry Lawler. That's what it reminds
Exactly.
me of.
Oh yeah. I mean, right now. It's to keep him relevant on the pay per view card
I get it,
and make
but
sure that he doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
I get it. And McAfee's a decent, believe, I mean, because he was an athlete, he was an NFL player.
Hmm.
Um, so he's a good athlete. You know, he did the best.
He's had several matches.
Yeah. He did the best that he could. But I'm just saying, like a guy like Gunther, like what are you doing? But anyway,
The one guy I want to see face Gunther, and he's not quite back yet because he's still injured, is Ilya Dragunov. I mean, that's the one. That's one of the guys that's actually beaten Gunther. Three people have beaten Gunther, and Dragunov's one of them.
no,
But
no,
I mean, this match was all right. Again, the whole time
but it
people are
was.
looking towards the entranceway, wondering who
Yeah.
was going to come out.
But he was struggling with McAfee a little bit. McAfee put. That's what I'm saying. You're kind of undermining the guy.
It felt like they dragged it
They
along a
did.
little bit too.
They did.
But in any event,
They
I mean,
almost pulled a. They almost pulled the Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude WrestleMania 5 when Cole got involved in the match.
yes, he did.
Yeah.
He grabbed his foot, held
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Almost, man.
But Gunther had that upper strength, and Wade Barrett said, "Oh, he's doing some manager old school stuff
Yeah.
here."
Damn it. Damn it.
I'm
Work for
like,
Bobby.
just mention Heenan's name and
Cole's
say
just no
it.
Heenan. Cole's no Heenan though.
No, he's not. But Gunther's no rude. Gunther had just a little bit more upper. Well, again, McAfee's no. I should say
Warrior.
exactly. He didn't have the strength to hold him down.
Wait,
But I mean, the referee stopped the match when McAfee couldn't answer the count anymore when he was being choked
checked
out.
out. That's it.
Gunther wins.
But then the sign of respect.
Gunther's been doing that even when he was world champion, despite him being a heel. When he fought somebody and defended the title against him, he gave them
Yeah.
the honor of
Mm-hmm.
respect, and that's what he did last night to McAfee
Like, yeah.
and Cole. Is he gave him he gave his respect. So he's a heel, but he's not being an ass. Well,
Right.
he was, but not tonight. And of course, we're on to our main event, which is for the WWE Championship.
For the
John
first time,
Cena
for the first time ever.
in 2025.
Yeah. I like how they showed
First time
they
ever was 2001.
I like how they showed that footage, the old footage from it was OVW, right? Was that OVW?
Yeah, they showed before they even got to OVW. Then they showed when they were in OVW, and then they went to Florida Championship Wrestling, and
Right,
then
right,
it was
right.
just all of then some of the
And they
matches
haven't
that they
fought,
had over the year,
right, and they haven't fought since SmackDown. That was the last time.
2017, I believe.
I'm around there.
But and then just the record that these two have had against each
Hmm.
other, the amount of titles that these guys have had
Oh
against
yeah.
each other, it's amazing.
I always liked Orton better than Cena. I was always a Randy Orton guy and never liked. The only time I liked Cena was when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics. I thought he was a great heel. Outside of that, I was never. I was always a Randy Orton guy. Always.
Yeah, at some point around 2011, I got sick and tired of this.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're always Randy Orton, Cena Orton. We're always
It
go
was
back
yeah. It
and
was
forth
too
with
much. It was too
this.
much.
So, but I mean, this match did not disappoint. This was pretty good. When the referee went down,
RKO City.
oh my
I've
God,
never seen someone that had to be a record for RKO's in a night. Had to be right.
and attitude adjustments.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
this is what we talk about though. It's just too much with the finishers and it's just.
I agree. But what's the one thing that did not belong in this
Hmm.
match is our truth
No, he was a
because he
he
wants to
was a
grow up
huge
and be just like John Cena.
right. Yeah.
So our truth comes in and gets RKO'd, and then that sets up the low blow from Cena,
Right. Right.
and he hits him with the belt and gets the
The match was a
victory.
mess. There was just so much going on.
It
It's just
was,
chaos. So was the end, like the last third, right? It was chaotic.
and then that's when I thought also, okay, is The Rock going to show up here?
Oh God, no.
I was hoping no Travis Scott. I was hoping for, but it kind of looked like it was setting up for that
Right.
because the referee's always down. All the referees are
Well,
down,
it was just too much. I just
and
felt
then
like,
Aldis Nick Aldis comes out and he's RKO'd, and Noble's RKO'd, and
I mean,
Daivari is RKO'd.
I love seeing Randy RKO people. I love it, but I just felt like it
I
was
just
just,
love it was the line. I
and you
just
knew he
love it.
wasn't gonna win, and you knew that was the other problem was this going into this. I knew that Randy had no shot to win this. I just knew there was no
No,
chance.
because there's no way that this last reign is going to be this short.
Right, right, yeah. So,
It's just a matter of time of who is he going to drop it
hmm.
to. Allegedly, coming up in SummerSlam, it's possible that Cody faces Cena again, and maybe that's where he drops it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we'll see. But
I don't even know if he'll be
this
on the
was.
card for Money in the Bank because
uh,
he's only got 27 dates left.
I don't know, but this match it was okay. I thought the end was stupid.
Well, you got a 48-year-old man facing a 45-year-old man, and we're all expecting this to be 20 years
Right, right,
ago.
right. So it's not
That's the
possible.
problem.
Did you catch the post pay-per-view press conference
Hell no, I don't
with
watch that shit.
well RKO, not RKO, somewhere. R-Truth got his ass whipped by Cena. Cena dumped him on and right on
Please
the
tell me they're not gonna fight each other.
I don't know, but he gave him the attitude adjustment on the table because he interrupted him in the press conference. And then it was weird because Triple H was talking and then Cena like kind of interrupts the press conference. He whispers something into Triple H's ear, and then Triple H is like, "Well, I'll answer this later. The champ is here." So I'm paraphrasing, and he gets up, and then Cena starts talking. R-Truth comes out, interrupts him, and Cena just had enough of him and just laid him out. That's pretty much what happened. So, thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Um, well, the lack of matches to me. I mean, some people have said quality over quantity is sometimes better. I think another couple of matches could have been good on this because I mean I'm looking at the time my time on my phone and the main event
You
it's
know
like
what?
my time it was 8:15 and I'm like wait a minute
You know what I do?
this is gonna wrap up real fast.
You know what I just thought of? I forgot. There's a Saturday night's main event this month. So
Two
maybe
weeks
that.
from
So
last
maybe.
night,
So maybe that's why they're saving certain matches, certain
yeah,
stuff.
Jey Uso and Logan Paul will be on
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah,
Night Main Event.
that would make sense. That's probably what cut into this pay-per-view. So it is what it is. It had its moments. It was,
I think it was too soon after. um, WrestleMania because we literally were just like 2 weeks out from Mania
Yeah,
for this to transpire. It was an all right card. I mean,
yeah,
the last time we're going to see Orton and Cena face each other, possibly. You know, you never know at this point. Um, Good to see Lyra beat Becky yet again. Jacob and Drew and Damian and LA Knight just they stole that they tore the house down. Jeff Cobb now being introduced is going to be a huge factor going forward. Not to mention the fact that the rumor now of Roman when he comes back is bringing finally Zilla, Fatu, and Hikuleu with him. So that's going to be interesting. This was pretty. This wasn't bad. It was decent.
yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. All right, well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.